And we are actually joined by Salman Shaheen, who is an author. He's also a Hounslow councillor who's also the cabinet member for culture, leisure and public spaces. Assalamu alaikum. Peace and blessings be upon you, Salman. Thank you for joining us on the Drive Time show this afternoon.
Wa alaikum salam and happy International Literacy Day to you.
Thank you very much. So we're talking about Literacy Day and the aspects of literacy. How has your experience as an author shaped your views on the power of literacy in transforming the individual and communities?
Well, I think it's very simple. There's only one reason I'm an author, and that's because I'm a reader as well as a writer. First and foremost, the first thing that sparked this passion for writing for me was reading, and it was my father who came to the UK when he was 20 from Pakistan. He became an English teacher here. He always read to me. From the age of 6 years old, I remember him reading Shakespeare and talking to me and igniting this passion for reading, for creativity, for storytelling, for literature in me. And that stayed with me my whole life. It went through school with me. It's absolutely for kids everywhere. It's a massive advantage to be interested in reading, to be able to to read as you enter school. And as a father now myself, there's one message I have to parents everywhere on this day: it's read to your kids. It's the single most important thing you can do, and it really does spark a lifetime of learning and enriches not just individuals but communities too. So it's not just that my experience as an author has shaped my views on literacy and how it can transform individuals and communities, but really how how being a reader has shaped my path to becoming an author as well.
So we actually, I don't know if you had listened to the show in the first hour, but we were talking about artificial intelligence and its impact on a young mind. Like you've just spoken as to your own motivations as to why you became an author, and it's the joy of reading and your father reading to you. Do you think, right, that would be the same if you had a chatbot reading to you?
Absolutely not. I think you need that human connection. I really do think you need that human connection. And I think also in terms of, you raise a great point about AI, and actually my novel, Freeborn, is all about AI and how it's transforming human societies and human nature as well. And thank you very much. Thank you. But no, it really does cut to the heart of, where we are as a society. AI has this huge potential to transform the way we work and think and live. And there are wonderful benefits that it can have, but we need guardrails to that, because if not, there are tremendous dangers as well. And I think if you think about all the students out there who are now plugging their essays into ChatGPT, are they actually learning while they do that, or are they just regurgitating? And there's a huge difference there. And I think it cuts the heart of where we are, when we're younger as well. And there's often the question is raised. I hear it quite a lot. Will we one day be taught by robots? Will we replace teachers with AI? And I would say no, because even if you could do everything that a teacher can do in terms of transferring that base level of knowledge to students, there's all sorts of things that are beyond actually teaching that teachers do, and it involves supporting students emotionally, creating that human connection, that human bond. And I think if you just replaced parents and teachers with chatbots, you're not going to get that human connection. I think that's where the inspiration comes from, that spark of creativity and thirst for knowledge. So my answer is no. I mean, you might call me a Luddite, but I'm actually very, very pro technology. I just think it has to have its limitations as well. And if you take humanity out of the equation, then what are we?
Yeah, exactly.
So, as Cabinet Member for Culture, Leisure and Public Spaces, you oversee the local library service. In your view, what role do libraries play today, especially in nurturing not just literacy, but also curiosity and civic engagement?
So I think we have to see libraries not just as their traditional role as repositories of books. And, in our libraries, we've got all sorts of literacy activities. We're talking about early literacy activities, which are really absolutely foundational to learning throughout life. But we also have adult literacy initiatives. We've got digital literacy initiatives as well. And I think that's important for full civic engagement, especially, with a diverse and also aging population as well. It's really important that we make sure that our libraries are able to bridge that digital divide in society. But it's not just about normal literacy and also digital literacy. It's about, giving out that free access to information, which, it doesn't matter, your income, doesn't matter your background. It empowers users of the libraries to come and pursue their interests, their hobbies, their academic research. We've got curated exhibitions and talks and workshops which allow our patrons to get involved with new ideas and cultures and perspectives. And remember also that, our books are not just in English. We are a very diverse borough, and we've got many of the major languages across the borough represented in our libraries as well. And the other thing that, I'm particularly keen to shout about is that, whilst many councils across the country have closed their libraries under austerity, we've not closed a single library, and we've not only just kept ours open, but we're expanding and improving the services they offer, and we're doing that by turning libraries into community hubs as well. So, you can come and borrow all the books you would anyway. You can come and get involved in all the activities you would anyway. But we can also come there and get advice on money management or health or mental health or skills and employment. And everything you need is now in one place in this library. And that's brought a new sense of relevancy to libraries, I think, because it's not just these sort of these traditional buildings that you might have come in and got a book and then left. Now you can do so much more with our libraries. And I think that has really preserved them in this emerging age we're in.
I mean, Salman, have you found that in Hounslow, what is the demographic? And has the demographic of your patron changed in the last, let's say, 10 years?
Well, I think that it's actually very broad, and it always has been very broad. I think there's sort of maybe a little bit of a stereotype that libraries are traditionally for older customers.
Yeah, because that's what I have this picture in my mind, right, of the OAP coming there. Because it's too expensive to heat their place, so they come to a public space, and they're able to read the papers and have a nice experience. So, correct me if I'm wrong, because that's I suppose the stereotypical image of a library.
It's the stereotypical image of a library. Also, you've got, it might be the only place where older residents, they might not have access to a computer at home, so it might be the only place that they go and do their emails or whatnot. But I think that is a fading stereotype, and I think there's increasingly a younger demographic. It's one we're particularly trying to cultivate through the various different initiatives we run through our schools, including things like the Poetry Slam, which is an amazing event that we run through our library service. I was lucky enough to judge this year's Poetry Slam, and I saw all the kids had put together teams from all the different schools in Hounslow, and they got together on stage, and they performed their poetry with movement and acting and performance and spoken word, and I was just blown away by the amount of talent. And this is all curated by our library service, and we have storytelling events. We've got all sorts of. We've even got coming up. We're doing sort of a dance program, dancing books. We've got coming up, which is for children under 4. So I think it is something that's changing, and I think it's something that we're making sure that this is changing from a very early age. And as I said, also for those in between being very young and very old, we've got these community hubs, which are very much family focused. Hubs for everyone, really. So I do think that image of libraries is changing.
I mean, as cabinet member for culture, leisure, and public spaces, I mean, you've got a template there in Hounslow, which sounds exciting and sustainable, more so to the point. I mean, would you not roll that out countrywide then?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not. I don't have the jurisdiction personally to roll it out countrywide. Okay. I'm only in charge of the libraries in Hounslow. But absolutely, I do think that Hounslow is a model for other councils to follow. I think there was a study done fairly recently that said that Hounslow had among some of the best library access in the UK, and it's only and we are, and that's across the whole country. We are we are improving the way we do things as well, increasing the number of events and the types of things that we run, the service we offer, the technology that we're rolling out. So absolutely, I would say to other councils, come and look what we're doing. Happy to have a chat with the cabinet member for libraries in any other borough. I know times are tough out there. Money is tight. Lots of councils are struggling with their budgets. I mean, I think Hounslow has been relatively prudent with our money, so we're not in danger of going under. Like I know some councils around the country are in danger of going bankrupt. So we have fought tooth and nail to keep our libraries open and keep them relevant. I'm absolutely happy to have a chat with if we can help any other council out there. We are. It's not like we're in competition with them over who's going to run the best libraries. Our libraries lift all of society up, and I'm very happy to have that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like the tag of a cultural hub for your council, right, or for your borough, and that would only, I think, strengthen and actually take away from these extreme narratives that we have in society now, with all these St. George's flags and Union Jacks popping up around the country in all different boroughs, villages. There's more things that unify us than actually differentiate us.
Well, that's right. That's right, and knowledge and enlightenment is the base of overcoming that, isn't it? Of recognizing, that we have this tremendous diversity around us, but we absolutely have so much in common. And people go down rabbit holes online. They listen to conspiracy theories. They see extremes of ideology, and they get bubbled by algorithms. They go online and they're only exposed to things that the algorithms of social media tell them that they like, so they keep getting more of it. But you can't. No algorithm's going to stop you picking up a book.
And no algorithm out there is telling them that St. George has actually come from Cappadocia, modern-day Turkey, as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely right. Read history books, absolutely, yes.
So your debut novel is a page-turner with speculative and philosophical depth. I mean, what books, whether fiction, non-fiction, or even children's books, do you believe have had the most impact on your literacy journey, and why?
So yeah, I mean, Freeborn, my debut novel, it is a thriller. It's written to be a page turner. It's a murder mystery thriller. Right. But I deliberately used that as a vehicle to smuggle these broader philosophical ideas in. Speculative philosophical ideas which look at the pace of technology on society, what that means for human nature. What is human nature? Are we what we were born to be, or what society made us? And looking at these age-old debates between science and faith, and how they impact on free will, and where technology fits into that. Now, one of the biggest influences on writing that kind of philosophical thriller for me was the late Jill Patton Walsh, who was a mentor of mine when I was literature editor of Varsity, the Cambridge University student newspaper. I had the great fortune of interviewing Jill Patton Walsh, and she had written this fantastic book called Knowledge of Angels, which is not a thriller at all. It's a philosophical novel, a very esoteric novel that goes in very much in depth on philosophy. But she also happened to write as well a couple of murder mystery series, and she gave me this advice. She said, I was always interested in writing things that were very philosophical, but maybe not necessarily page turners. And she gave me the sage piece of advice that if you want to write something that's meaningful, that gets people to think deeply about the world, well, the best way to do so is to smuggle it in a murder mystery. And so I did.
Make it exciting.
Well, exactly. And her, and I asked her as well when I interviewed her who were her mentors, essentially, who were her inspirations, and she told me that they were the professors of English literature when she was a student at Oxford, and that they were Tolkien and C.S. Lewis, and as I say, those were the sorts of books my dad read me when I was 6, so they became early influences as well. This sort of this massive world building and philosophical world building as well. And more recently, I'd say it's people like Kazuo Ishiguro with Never Let Me Go, Philip Pullman, Nabokov, Gabriel Garcia Marquez, all sorts of literary figures. Actually, I haven't mentioned many thriller writers, and that's largely because I'm mostly interested in literary fiction, and actually, in many ways, Freeborn is a literary novel. It's just disguised as a thriller to get you reading it.
Okay.
So, looking to the future, what are your hopes or plans for improving access to books and literacy? How can local residents support or get involved in that effort?
So I'd say we're continually improving and revamping our technology to improve the access to our books. We're making it easier and easier for people to get hold of the books. We're, as I mentioned earlier, we're launching dancing books in 2 of our libraries. This is a program for children under the age of 4 to introduce reading through movement, and it supports the development of literacy and phonetics and storytelling. We've also been involved in working on this app with London libraries, which is a bit like the Couch to 5K for reading, which is tremendously fun, I think. I mean, doing Couch to 5K is the only reason I got off the sofa. So if something similar can help people with reading, then that's great. I think my main message here really is that there's this old view of libraries that they're these places where you sort of creep in silently and borrow a book and shuffle out just as quietly in case you're going to get told off. But
yeah, you've got a stern librarian kind of like raising their eyebrows at you because you've got a pack of Walker's crisps or something. You're crunching them.
Exactly right. But they're not that anymore. They're dynamic hubs of activities. And, we've got we've got author events, and we've got writers and illustrators and poets coming in. I mentioned the poetry slam earlier, which I absolutely love. We've got story time for the kids with music and movement and puppetry. We've got all these things that just are tremendously fun, and that is what our libraries are, and that's what I want them to carry on being. And my main message to everyone, to all your listeners, is use your library. Absolutely treasure it, support it. It's there for you. We're there for you. So come along, bring your kids, love your library, and I really hope that will inspire a lifelong love of reading in you and your kids.
Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you this afternoon, Salman. Thank you very much for joining us on the Drive Time Show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Have a good day.